You are welcome to LFN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly, real name Robert Sylvester Kelly, also known as the R&B King. R. Kelly, the R&B King who was wrongly convicted in 2022 of allegedly abusing his 14-year-old goddaughter and other minors in the late 1990s and early 2000s, is through his lawyer asking the Supreme Court to take another look at his case. In a petition filed last week and unsealed Monday, R. Kelly's defense team asked the court to take another look at the case, after a lower court rejected his appeal earlier this year. Just as they did before the lower court, R. Kelly's defense team has again argued that the statute of limitations on his charge had expired. On Tuesday, R. Kelly's lawyers led by Jennifer Bonjean filed an appeal with the U.S. Supreme Court expressing the fact that the Federal PROTECT Act, which is a 2003 law that allows prosecutors to pursue charges for child abusers during the lifetime of the child, does not apply to R. Kelly's case, because the alleged abuse is said to have occurred even before the act was made law. Federal prosecutors in Chicago erroneously brought 13 charges against R. Kelly hiding under the PROTECT Act in 2020 for crimes he allegedly committed against 3 underage girls in the 1990s. He was convicted on 6 of those charges, including creating CP and coercing minors into illegal activity. R. Kelly is unfortunately currently serving a 20-year sentence for that conviction. R. Kelly's attorney Jennifer Bonjean said that when Congress drafted the 2003 law, they did not express intent for it to be applied retroactively. Consistent with the well-established presumption against retroactive legislation, the 2003 amendment is inapplicable to the charged conduct, Bonjean wrote. We can still recall that a federal appeals court in Northern Illinois ruled against R. Kelly earlier this year. A 3-judge panel for the 7th Circuit said that the law was correctly applied because the 3 alleged victims are still alive and that it is not unconstitutional to apply laws retroactively. It was quite heart-sickening to learn that the U.S. Federal Appeals Court had upheld R. Kelly's 20-year prison sentence over CP and other crimes, rejecting the R&B King's defense that the case was filed too late. R. Kelly was sentenced in February last year, but his lawyers led by Jennifer Bonjean argued the statute of limitations had passed by the time he was charged, a defense the Chicago court unfairly rejected. In their ruling, the judges chose instead to apply the modern statute of limitations, which extends through the life of the victim. This decision obviously seems to have harbored the interest of targeting R. Kelly. Now, the PROTECT Act of 2003, enacted April 30, 2003, is a United States law with the stated intent of preventing child abuse, as well as investigating and prosecuting violent crimes against children. PROTECT stands for prosecutorial remedies and other tools to end the exploitation of children today. The PROTECT Act was designed to extend the statute of limitations indefinitely for child crimes committed after 2003. According to Bonjean, Congress did not include a provision that would apply the law to crimes committed before its enactment, which now forms the basis of R. Kelly's appeal. This court should grant review to reaffirm the long-standing principles that criminal limitations are to be liberally interpreted in favor of repose, and that legislation is presumed to apply prospectively regardless of ex post facto considerations unless Congress expressly states otherwise, defense attorney Jennifer Bonjean wrote in the petition. The PROTECT Act essentially removes all statutes of limitations from applicable child crimes, but it only references crimes committed after 2003. It does not say whether or not it can be applied to child crimes that occurred before the law was passed. R. Kelly's alleged offenses dated back to the 90s, which his lawyer correctly argues cannot fall under the PROTECT Act. We however still know that it is not rocket science for one to fail realizing the fact that R. Kelly has been a lone victim of a well-orchestrated conspiracy, spiced by the #MeToo movement together with Dream Hampton's rather dramatized Surviving R. Kelly docuseries, which we all know was majorly funded by Jay-Z. In the early 2000s, Chicago-based reporter Jim DeRogatis claimed to have anonymously received 2 duplicate tapes that he claimed appeared to show R. Kelly involved with young girls. Subsequently, R. Kelly was indicted for CP but was acquitted on all counts in the co-trial. DeRogatis continued to publish allegations of assault and abuse as 2 women in Atlanta founded the Mute R. Kelly movement, which encouraged boycotting R. Kelly's music. It wasn't until January 2019, when the controversial and inaccurate Lifetime docuseries once again aired the allegations that the case was brought up again. Surprisingly, prosecutors leveled state charges against R. Kelly, after which federal prosecutors in both Illinois and New York indicted him. Earlier in a written statement, R. Kelly's attorney Jennifer Bonjean had revealed a plan to seek U.S. Supreme Court review of the decision and pursue all of his appellate remedies until we free R. Kelly. "We are disappointed in the ruling, but our fight is far from over," Jennifer Bonjean then said. In the wake of Bonjean's petition submission, R. Kelly is now appealing the verdict to the U.S. Supreme Court, though such appeals face extremely long odds, as the High Court hears only a tiny fraction of the petitions it receives. We, however, remain optimistic that the Supreme Court will be able to appreciate this gross irregularity and consider R. Kelly's petition for review. Meanwhile, in Brooklyn, the feds accused R. Kelly of violating the federal RICO statute, also known as the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, by orchestrating a long-running scheme to recruit and abuse women and underage girls. After being convicted in September 2021, R. Kelly was sentenced to 30 years in prison. In arguments before the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, attorney Jennifer Bonjean asked the panel to find out that prosecutors improperly used a racketeering statute written to shut down organized crime to go after the king of R&B. With R. Kelly's Chicago verdict affirmed and now headed for the Supreme Court, attention now turns to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit, which is currently weighing his Brooklyn conviction. That case was argued in court, and Bonjean told the judges that the RICO case against R. Kelly had stretched federal racketeering laws to the point of absurdity. R. Kelly is currently being held at a medium-security prison Butner in North Carolina. As we continue to witness new developments occurring towards R. Kelly's appeal proceedings, we can just stay optimistic that this time around, the relevant truth will be put into consideration. This is the ray of hope that makes us keep our breath and hold. We believe R. Kelly and his legal team will be able to outline all the injustices, misinterpretations of the law, cases of lying and witness tampering that have marred all R. Kelly's legal proceedings, and that the law, truth and justice will this time along prevail. It has been a long wait, and we can't wait any longer to see R. Kelly regain his deserved freedom. Thank you for watching today's video, a production of LFN Media, giving you another perspective of issues at hand. We make it our business to keep you updated with the truth amidst the cloud of lies the media wants you to believe. It is therefore important to subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon and allow all notifications so that you don't miss out whenever we publish a new video.